Hi everyone, Adam Jennings here, candidate for state representative in Missouri's 69th House District. Have a story to tell you today. If you're like me, from Florissant, from Hazelwood, or anywhere in the St. Louis metro area, it's a story that you probably haven't heard, and why I'm completely unsure. We all know that the justice system typically does a very good job of stepping in and taking care of children who are abused or neglected. After that abuse and neglect has already happened, it doesn't do a very good job of preventing it on the front end. But unfortunately, this is a story where even on the back end, the justice system has really let us down. A story of Kinzlea Kilgore, a 2-year-old little girl from Buffalo, Missouri in Dallas County. Kinzlea died of injuries, head injuries, back on Mother's Day this past May. It was initially reported that she suffered these injuries falling out of a truck. Law enforcement there locally very quickly saw through that story and realized that this was a case of abuse, and they did rule her death a homicide. They investigated it as such, and just a couple of weeks later concluded their investigation. There is a report that was finalized on that investigation in June and turned over to Dallas County Prosecutor Barbara Viets. Here's what we've learned from that report. Nothing. Absolutely nothing. No details released, no charges filed, absolutely no one has been held accountable for Kinzlea Kilgore's death. Now, I understand her mother was arrested, later let go, and there was another person of interest, but local media there in southwest Missouri didn't touch much more on it at the time. A couple of days later, Kenneth Davis, who it turns out is maybe the prime suspect in this situation, was dating Kinzlea's mother and was there the night that this happened, was arrested a couple of days ago after, no other way to describe it, beating the hell out of his own 8-year-old daughter. Now he's currently being held there in Dallas County. He's being held on those charges. He does have the ability to post bond and get out. He still has not been charged, despite what I understand to be pretty overwhelming evidence that he is responsible in Kinzlea's death. Instead, he's being held just on these abuse charges for his own daughter, and if he posts bond, he's back out on the streets and potentially creating a third victim. This is completely inexcusable. Barbara Viets' office has been sitting on this report for more than 30 days, and I understand from reading up on this, the family met with her a couple of days ago. It seems that she's not even in tune with the details of the case. She probably hasn't even cracked this thing open yet. So that led the family to file a complaint with the OCDC, as well as to ask Attorney General Josh Hawley's office to step in and provide assistance, maybe with a special prosecutor, or to investigate why there's been this inaction on Viets' part. So far, they have not heard anything back yet. So they have a protest scheduled for Wednesday outside of Barbara Viets' office in Buffalo, Missouri, and I am going to be happy to join them there. That's maybe the beginning of calling attention to this and trying to get justice for Kinzlea. But we have to ask, what more can we do in order to get justice for this little girl? Well, the first one is we need to share this story very wide. As best I can tell, it really has only been talked about in southwest Missouri. I understand Nancy Grace might have picked up on it, but again, if you're like me up here in St. Louis, you haven't heard about this. This hasn't been on our news. Nobody's been reporting on it. So we have to create attention for this. We have to create media attention for this, and that's another thing I'm going to be working on. I'm asking a couple of local outlets to give me some time to come on, maybe talk a little bit about my candidacy, but I really want to talk about this and just create more attention, because attention equals political pressure. Again, the family has reached out, filed the complaint with the OCDC. They have reached out to Attorney General Josh Hawley. You know, Josh Hawley, he's a busy guy. He's the Attorney General of the state. He's running a Senate campaign against Claire McCaskill. I'm sure a lot of things come through his office. He may not even be personally familiar with this case, but that's okay. We're going to make him familiar. We're going to get a lot of attention behind this story. We're going to make sure that he's personally aware so that maybe he can step in and help get justice for Kinzlea, or at least, you know, if no charges are going to be filed, get us the details of this investigative report. Let's find out what's in it. Let's find out why. You can't leave this community, this family, 30 days with no answers and seemingly not even having cracked the report. So we have to create pressure. I ask, please share this. Please share any news that you see on the Kinzlea Kilgore story. Let's draw some attention and let's get some pressure on people to step up and take responsibility and do their jobs. The second thing that we need to do is to make sure that there is not another Kinzlea Kilgore in this state ever again. So me personally, I'm going to be going over all of the details of this case to try to figure out all of the different failings, things that could have happened maybe before Kinzlea died, warning signs that we maybe should have seen with the mother, that we should have seen with this guy Ken Davis, and try to put together a bill that I will be happy to sponsor and present if elected, that I will call Kinzlea's Law, with a specific aim of not giving the resources to the justice system to protect children in cases of abuse, neglect, or worse, but requiring them to act. We talk all the time about dedicating resources. I want something that requires action, because there's no excuse that an investigation can be concluded and have it just sit on a prosecutor's desk for 30 days. That's for 30 days plus. That's completely unacceptable. We have to do better. We have to make sure that when these cases happen, that they're acted upon quickly, and if possible, we need to make sure that they never happen in the first place. And again, that's sadly something that I think that we're all used to. We all know that the justice system doesn't necessarily do a good job until somebody gets hurt. Well, let's change that. Let's fix that. So that's going to be my aim. I will put together this bill. I will publish it as far as what I intend to present. But more importantly, I'm going to share it. I'm going to share it with other state representatives. I'm going to share it with state senators. I'm even going to share it with my opponent, Gretchen Banger, because whether or not I'm elected, this is something we have to get done in this state. We cannot have another case like this. There can never be another Kinzlea Kilgore. So again, our goal for the time being is to get justice for Kinzlea. We need to bring a lot of attention to this story. We need to put the heat on the right people and make sure that they're doing their jobs and that they're aware of this issue and that they're doing what they can to bring justice for Kinzlea. And again, second, we need to make sure that this never, ever happens again to any child in this state, and that it is prevented if at all possible. So again, I'll be working on that. I'll get the details out to everybody as to what I come up with and what my ideas are. I look forward to collaborating with other state representatives, state senators, and again, even my opponent, because whether or not I'm elected, this is something that I take very personally and that we need to act on now. So please do keep up with this. Visit my website, adamjennings.com. Connect with me on Facebook at Adam L. Jennings, Twitter at Adam Jennings. I will be, again, posting updates on this as we go. I will be posting updates on Wednesday from Buffalo. I'll be down there with that community, calling for support, calling for help in any way that we can get it to get justice for Kinzlea. If you do share this story, by all means, share my video, share any of these posts that I've made on this topic. But when you're talking about this, make sure to include hashtag Justice for Kinzlea so that we can, again, create as much pressure as we can, spread this story as wide as we can, and make sure that we get justice for this little girl. Thanks so much for watching, and please do stay tuned. I will provide updates on this over the next couple of days as we go, as we learn more, and as I'm able to put together my proposal for, again, what we will call Kinzlea's Law. Thank you.